Canada, a land that stretches endlessly from ocean to ocean, where rugged coastlines, towering mountains, and vast forests weave together into one of the most breathtaking landscapes on Earth. It is a country defined not only by its immense size but by its diversity, a place where modern cities rise with energy and culture, while just beyond their edges, nature reigns in its raw and untamed beauty. Here, the thunder of Niagara Falls echoes through deep gorges, the turquoise lakes of the Rockies reflect snow-capped peaks, and far in the north, the endless Arctic sky is painted with the dancing colors of the aurora. Every province, every territory holds its own story, shaped by history, culture, and the people who call this vast land home. This is not just a journey through one country but through countless worlds within it. This is Canada. Ontario, heart of Canada. Our journey begins in Ontario, the heart of Canada, where modern skylines, cultural diversity, and natural wonders blend into one. Here lies Toronto, the country's largest city. From the soaring height of the CN Tower, the city unfolds in every direction, a vast mosaic of neighborhoods shaped by people from all corners of the globe. In its bustling streets, over 200 languages are spoken, and every block offers a taste of the world. Yet amid this energy, there are moments of stillness, a stroll through the waterfront, a bike ride across the Toronto Islands, or the calm beauty of Stanley Park in autumn's fiery colors. Just a short journey away, the land itself reveals its greatest spectacle, Niagara Falls. For thousands of years, these thunderous cascades have carved their way through rock and time, drawing travelers from around the world to stand before their sheer power. Mist rises, rainbows dance in the sunlight, and the roar of the water reminds us of nature's unrelenting force. Farther north, Ontario tells a different story. In Ottawa, the nation's capital, history and tradition live side by side with modern Canadian life. Parliament Hill stands proudly on the banks of the Ottawa River, its Gothic towers a symbol of democracy and heritage. In winter, the frozen waters of the Rideau Canal transform into the world's largest skating rink, as families and travelers alike glide through a landscape that feels lifted from a dream. Ontario is a province of contrasts, a place where the rhythm of city life beats against the timeless pulse of nature. It is here, at the meeting point of people and wilderness, that the Canadian spirit first begins to take shape. Quebec French heritage. If Ontario is the heart of Canada, then Quebec is its soul, a province where history whispers through cobblestone streets, and where French heritage has shaped a culture unlike any other in North America. In Quebec City, time seems to slow. Within the stone walls of Old Québec, horse-drawn carriages roll past centuries-old churches and bustling squares. Rising above it all stands the Chateau Frontenac, a castle-like hotel that has become one of the most photographed landmarks in the world. Here, every winding alley, every hidden courtyard, carries with it the echoes of Europe, preserved on Canadian soil. travel southwest, and the spirit of Quebec shifts to something more vibrant and modern. In Montreal, cultures converge in a city alive with art, music, and food. The Gothic towers of Notre Dame Basilica stand in quiet grandeur, while in the streets outside, the aroma of fresh bagels, sizzling poutine, and flavors from every corner of the globe tell the story of a community built on diversity. Festivals light up the city year-round, from jazz to comedy, from fireworks to film, each celebration adding another layer to the cultural fabric. But beyond the cities lies a Quebec of wide rivers and endless forests, of villages where French is still spoken as it was centuries ago, and where traditions are passed from one generation to the next. It is a province that bridges old and new, Europe and North America, the past and the future. Quebec is more than a destination. It is a living culture, proud and resilient, offering travelers a glimpse into a Canada shaped by language, heritage, and identity. British Columbia, nature and Pacific coast. On Canada's Pacific edge lies British Columbia, a province where the mountains meet the sea, and where wilderness is never more than a step away. In Vancouver, glass towers rise against a backdrop of snow-capped peaks and the endless blue of the ocean. Stanley Park stretches like a green sanctuary at the city's heart, its trails winding through towering cedars and firs. Across the harbor, the Capilano Suspension Bridge sways gently above a rushing canyon, a reminder that even within the city, nature holds the upper hand. Vancouver is a place of balance, a cosmopolitan hub of art, food, and culture, yet rooted in the wild beauty that surrounds it. Across the Strait of Georgia, Vancouver Island offers a quieter rhythm. In Victoria, the capital of the province, gardens bloom in colors that seem to defy the seasons, while the city's elegant architecture speaks of a colonial past. On the island's rugged coasts, waves crash against rocky shores, where orcas glide silently through cold Pacific waters. Further inland, the landscape rises into a realm of adventure. In Whistler, alpine villages rest beneath towering peaks, where trails weave through summer meadows and winter snow blankets the slopes in white. This is a land built for those who seek both thrill and tranquility, a place where each season offers its own wonder. British Columbia is more than scenery. It is an experience of scale and beauty that humbles all who journey here. From rainforest to ocean, from glacier to city street, it is a province that reminds us of the harmony that can exist between people and the natural world. Alberta, Rockies and adventure. Beyond the jagged spine of the Rockies lies Alberta, a land where the wilderness rises in dramatic peaks, and the open prairies stretch endlessly toward the horizon. In Banff National Park, turquoise waters glisten beneath mountains carved by ice and time. Lake Louise, with its emerald surface reflecting snow-capped peaks, is a scene so perfect it feels painted by nature itself. Just beyond, the Valley of the Ten Peaks embraces Moraine Lake, where dawn light turns the water into a mirror of blue fire. These landscapes are more than beautiful. They are timeless, untouched sanctuaries that reveal the raw heart of Canada's West. Farther north, Jasper National Park expands into an even wilder frontier. Here, the Columbia Icefield spills ancient glaciers into the valleys below, while elk, moose, and bears roam freely across vast forests. Under skies unspoiled by city lights, the stars stretch endlessly above, and on certain nights, the northern lights sweep across the darkness in waves of green and violet. Yet Alberta is not only wilderness. In Calgary, a modern city rises from the prairies, its skyline framed by distant mountains. Each summer, the Calgary Stampede celebrates the province's cowboy heritage, a festival of rodeos, parades, and traditions that honor Alberta's rugged past. This is a province of contrasts, of silent alpine lakes and bustling city streets, of ancient ice and youthful energy. In Alberta, nature's grandeur and human spirit stand side by side, each shaping the story of the Canadian West. Prairie Provinces. Stretching out between the towering Rockies and the great forests of the east lies a land of open skies and endless horizons, the Prairie Provinces. In Saskatchewan, the landscape is defined not by mountains or oceans, but by space itself. Golden fields of wheat ripple in the wind, stretching farther than the eye can see, while vast grasslands shelter bison that once thundered across the plains in uncountable herds. The sunsets here linger on the horizon, painting the sky in shades of fire and gold, as if the land itself is reminding us of its quiet power. To the east, Manitoba reveals a different face of the prairies. In Winnipeg, cultures converge in a city that stands as a gateway between Canada's east and west. Canadian Museum for Human Rights rises as a symbol of reflection and resilience, while just beyond the city, nature reclaims its dominance. In the northern wilderness lies Churchill, one of the few places on Earth where travelers can stand face to face with the great polar bear. Here, in autumn, the tundra becomes a crossroads between ice and land, where these powerful creatures wait for the Hudson Bay to freeze. And when winter deepens, the sky itself transforms, the aurora borealis sweeping in silent waves of light above frozen rivers and sleeping forests. The prairies may seem simple at first glance, but within their vastness lies a beauty both subtle and profound, a reminder that even in the quietest landscapes, the soul of Canada endures. Atlantic Canada, East Coast Charm. The far eastern edge of the continent, where land meets the restless Atlantic, lies a region shaped by the sea, Atlantic Canada. In Nova Scotia, the rhythm of the ocean defines daily life. Along the rugged coastline, lighthouses stand as timeless sentinels against crashing waves, their beams guiding sailors through fog and storm. Peggy's Cove, waves break against granite cliffs, while in Halifax, the waterfront hums with music, culture, and stories of a seafaring past. Northward in Newfoundland and Labrador, the landscape becomes more dramatic still. Fjords carve deep into ancient rock, icebergs drift silently past colorful fishing villages, and in St. John's, houses painted in bright hues cling to steep hillsides overlooking the sea. It is a place where the wild and the human coexist, where traditions of storytelling and song echo across the windswept coasts. On Prince Edward Island, the tone softens. Rolling farmland and red sand beaches create a pastoral charm. This is the land that inspired the beloved tale of Anne of Green Gables, a place where fields meet the sea in a landscape both gentle and enduring. And in New Brunswick, the mighty tides of the Bay of Fundy rise and fall with astonishing force, sculpting cliffs and revealing ocean floors that moments before were hidden beneath the waves. It is nature at its most dynamic, a reminder of the ocean's power to shape not only land but life itself. Atlantic Canada is a region of contrasts, rugged and gentle, timeless and ever-changing, bound together by the sea and defined by the resilience of those who call its shores home. Northern Canada, the Arctic spirit. Beyond the forests and prairies, above the last roads and towns, lies northern Canada, a vast frontier where wilderness stretches to the Arctic Ocean, and where the human spirit is tested against the immensity of the land. In the Yukon, history lingers in the ghost of the Klondike Gold Rush, when thousands once crossed treacherous mountains in search of fortune. Today, the same landscapes remain, untouched and untamed, valleys carved by glaciers, rivers winding through endless forest, and peaks that seem to rise into eternity. To the east, in the Northwest Territories, the land opens into a mosaic of lakes and rivers so vast they resemble inland seas. Here, Great Slave Lake reflects skies of brilliant color, while at night the aurora borealis ignites the heavens, a curtain of light that dances in silence above frozen land. And farther still in Nunavut lies the true Arctic. This is a world of tundra and ice, of polar bears roaming across floes, and of Inuit communities whose traditions have endured for thousands of years. It is a place where survival and culture are intertwined, where hunting, art, and storytelling connect people to the rhythm of the land and the sea. Northern Canada is not a destination in the usual sense. It is an encounter with something far greater, a reminder of the Earth's scale, of nature's power, and of humanity's enduring bond with the land. Culture, food, and festivals. Across this vast land, Canada's true essence is found not only in its landscapes, but in its people and their traditions. Indigenous cultures, the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis, carry stories that reach back thousands of years, their art, music, and ceremonies honoring a deep connection to the land. These traditions remain a living heartbeat within modern Canada, reminding us of resilience, wisdom, and belonging. Food here is as diverse as the nation itself. In Quebec, the rich comfort of poutine warms the soul on winter nights. On the coasts, salmon, lobster, and scallops are drawn fresh from the sea. Maple syrup flows each spring from forests of sugar maple, a sweet symbol of the changing seasons. And in every city, flavors from around the world blend seamlessly, reflecting the multicultural fabric of Canadian life. Festivals light up the calendar from coast to coast. In Toronto, the International Film Festival welcomes voices from across the globe. In Calgary, the Stampede celebrates a proud frontier spirit with rodeos and parades. In Quebec City, the Winter Carnival fills snowy streets with color and laughter. Each event reveals a different side of Canada, vibrant, diverse, and alive with celebration. Together, these traditions, flavors, and festivals create a culture as vast and varied as the land itself, weaving people and place into a story uniquely Canadian. Intro and reflections. From the thundering falls of Ontario to the cobblestone streets of Quebec, from the towering peaks of the Rockies to the boundless silence of the Arctic, Canada is a country defined by contrasts, yet united by its spirit. It is a land where nature remains vast and untamed, and yet where cities thrive with culture, diversity, and innovation. A place where every season transforms the landscape into something entirely new, and where each province and territory tells its own story. But beyond the scenery, beyond the history, lies something greater, the people who call this land home. A nation built on resilience, shaped by many voices and strengthened by its diversity. Canada is not a single story, but thousands woven together, of wilderness and wonder, of heritage and hope, of journeys that continue across generations. And so, as our voyage comes to an end, we leave with the memory of a country both vast and intimate, ancient and modern, raw and refined. This is Canada, a land of endless horizons waiting to be discovered again and again.